and welcome to the Memory Lane 80s show on Spotlight TV. I'm Hayley Palmer and it is really good to have your company here tonight. Now, you are in for a very special treat this evening. Let me give you a clue. It was one of the biggest groups in the 1980s. The group won Eurovision in 1981. Oh yes, I'm talking to Jay Aston from Bucks Fizz, which is now known as the Fizz, and this is what happened when I caught up with her. Jay Aston, it's brilliant to have you here.
Thank you.
What a pleasure. Oh, it really is an honour. We play Bucks Fizz a lot on this 80s show.
Oh, great. Brilliant. I wish they'd play it a bit more on radio.
Yeah, it makes us happy, especially in lockdown. It's a very happy songs, which we love. Now, let's rewind to your early days of Bucks Fizz. 1981, you won Eurovision. How was that for you?
It was amazing. Really an amazing, life-changing moment. It was a very silly song, and thank heavens for Velcro.
I love it, though.
It was, the thing is, my brother had done Eurovision the year before, represented the UK, and I think he came second or third in a band called Prima Donna. So I kind of knew what was kind of expected of us. But you know, when you get there and you're doing rehearsals like on the day, because obviously with one song for Europe really easily, that just went down amazing. And then we've actually got to Eurovision in Dublin. It was very different. We actually had security because there'd been some threats, which we didn't really know about very much, but we had these big burly security men. And it's very exciting. You keep doing all these rehearsals, and we started to think, because Mike was always the one who thought we'd win, and I was just like going along for the ride, really. I thought, oh, it'd be great. And, you know, what are the chances of winning? So I was just enjoying it, really. And but then as we watched the various acts, Mike was like going, oh, no, you know, might not win. But we just enjoyed it. It was a load of fun. And I think that actually, when you see that clip, it comes across on our faces.
It really does. And I love the skirt ripping moment, because I think that's absolutely genius. Like when I go on a night out, I'm like, actually, I don't want to wear the long skirt anymore. I want a short skirt. And I think that's brilliant.
Absolutely. No, that was just a bit of a fluky thing. Cheryl wanted the long skirts and I wanted the short ones. And we both thought we were right. And so she sort of said, you know, just a quick, oh, all right, then we'll wear the long ones and we'll take them off in the middle. And I was like, yeah, actually, it's a really good idea. Let's do that. So, yeah, and the choreographer sort of came up with where it went. And if you want to see some more, that's where we took them off. Yeah, so it's a bit of a combined effort, but it was just something that was a compromise that just worked fantastically to our favour.
Well, it really did work. Let's check out the video, Making Your Mind Up. It also reached #1 in the UK as well as 8 other countries. So it was a massive success. Yes. Now I want to find out more. I want all the sneaky information. But your dance routines, who actually choreographed those?
Well, we had a couple of people. Jeff Unkovich did Land of Make Believe, and quite a few. I think he did Camera. He did 4 or 5. Chrissy Wickham did Making Your Mind Up, and she used to be in a group called Hot Gossip.
Hot Gossip, yes.
She was trained by Arlene Phillips, who taught me at school.
Oh wow!
So yeah, so there was a bit of a, you know, so it was like, oh, Chrissy, and you're doing the choreography, yeah. And I did Can't Stand the Heat, and I did a few bits and bobs as well. So yeah,
you were a dancer yourself, yeah.
A dancer, yeah. So
it's very simple, the choreography, but it really works, doesn't it? It's kind of like, it just looks so in sync together, which is really hard to achieve.
Yeah, no, well, we used to rehearse a lot. It had to be slick. And the benefit then was some of those tracks on some of the TVs weren't live. And you could actually be far more precise, because actually singing live and doing the dance routines is pretty tiring. Especially
really
you've done times and you know, so yeah,
really love that.
It was great, and all the choreography just seemed to work perfectly for each routine.
Yeah, it really does. And your costumes as well, because I mean, I just love the costumes, and you all just look just so beautiful and sparkly, brilliant. Were they really good days?
They were fun. I mean, I did a lot of the costumes back in the day, because we were four completely different people with different ideas, different backgrounds, different abilities. And they could see that I was into fashion. I was the youngest.
Yeah.
I think I was my mum, because my mum used to make theatre costumes for her shows with my dad. My dad was a comedian. And so it was kind of in the blood. And they said, well, why don't we try Jay doing the costumes? And I think the others were a bit like, what's she going to come up with? Some of them were a success and some of them weren't. But it needed a uniform look, you know.
Yeah.
So for what Land of Make Believe, I came up with. Actually, there was, I was walking down the King's Road and I saw these amazing sort of costumes, which, you know, you wouldn't go to a disco in them. I was thinking, who would wear them? And where would you wear them? I mean, they were like leather with toned boobies. I mean, literally, Madonna was years after us. And I did get ideas from the King's Road, and bizarrely, I used to walk down with these sort of fluffy, furry mini skirts, which I used to make out of like silly fur, you know, like pretend leopard print fur. And literally 2 weeks later, they'd be hanging in the window, like they'd be watching me. So I was sort of, but I could set a few trends down there. But no, I love fashion. And bizarrely, I was offered my own label at Topshop.
Yes, I read that.
And I just couldn't actually do it because I was so busy. And it's one of the things I kind of really regret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I do love fashion. And
yes.
And
you've got the figure to pull all this off. You've got the lovely figure. I'm on the Jaffa cakes in lockdown, Jay. It's all going wrong.
I think I've put a few pounds on.
You haven't. No.
One thing about the skirt rip, it does kind of make you have to keep in shape, you know.
This is true. Getting all the secrets from Bucks Fizz. I'm loving it. But I want to know, so obviously when you were in the band, was it quite manufactured? Like you had to do a certain song next, or did you kind of choose the next song? How did it work?
We were puppets, really. And it was a lot to do with the fact we were so busy. So for the first 2.5 years, we were in and out of Europe, like flying in and out. We had so many photo shoots. We had to record new music, and it was such an insane schedule that we were literally told what to do, when to do it. And the only bit of creativity was like me doing the costumes and having some say in the kind of styling and the choreography. Cheryl's thing was she's amazing at harmony, so they would let her have a bit of free reign with that, as is happening now with Mike Stock. She can almost hear a harmony before they write the song. And so, but it was very TikTok, you know, it really was. They jump and we jump.
Really, yeah. I mean, you don't realise that a lot of these sort of programmes now, you know, your X Factors, Britain's Got Talent, you know, people are sort of thrown together. But you guys did really get on, didn't you?
Yeah, no, I mean, we were really different people. And the thing is, when I was 19 and the others were sort of late 20s, and there was a big age gap. Now I've grown up, obviously, and we've married the kids, and we've all just matured. The egos kind of go down, and but it was quite spiky. I mean, there was real personality clashes, particularly between Cheryl and Bobby, and Mike and Bobby.
It's like a marriage, though, isn't it? You're all together in each other's footsteps the whole time, aren't you? It's quite hard. It's
very intense, and you're very different people, very different backgrounds, very different opinions on things. And I think I was very green, you know. I'd done a lot of shows because of my family upbringing in showbiz. I was totally confident on stage, not so confident in the studio, but you know, the performing side of it was fine for me. The bit I struggled with was the personalities, and I was really rubbish at that because I was just a kid.
Yeah, you're 19. It's so young, isn't it, to go into a band?
Modelled, and you know, and Cheryl was brought up in Bethnal Green, and she was really streetwise, and I was the opposite. Let's
have a look at Now Those Days Are Gone. For me, this is a real beautiful song and slightly different for Bucks Fizz.
It is. Now Those Days Are Gone again gave us a bit of class, I think, because it was a beautiful song. The arrangement was amazing, the strings, and a little bit more towards classical music in a way. And I love the way that they put the old wartime video with it. And obviously it featured Mike. And I've got to tell you just quickly, when he was recording that, they kept saying to him, because he turned up, he used to wear leather a lot, leather jacket, leather trousers, you know, this proper rock star look. And they kept saying to him, you know, Mike, something's squeaking on the mic. So can you take your jacket off? So he took his jacket off. Can you, oh, and there's something, is it your belt? Take your belt off. So as I arrived there to do my vocals, there's Mike in his underpants, literally. Wind up. So if you have that in your mind, when you listen to that song.
We're not going to forget that now. We're really not. I've got a question from one of our lovely viewers. He says, Gary, what were your favourite outfits that you created in Bucks Fizz?
Ooh, well, I did love the Land of Make Believe, but I think the ones that I actually made was We Can't Stand the Heat, which was, let's put it this way, we didn't have a big budget at that point for costumes. And because of We Can't Stand the Heat kind of line, my phone's kind of dying a bit, I went to my local DIY store and I got chamois leathers, you know, like what you clean the windows with, and a mop and some tea towels and things that you cleaning stuff for cleaning. And I kind of cut it all and tied it all together. And also my mum and dad had this really dodgy molting old rug on the floor, which they got actually when they were in South Africa. So it was kind of like a deer skin thing, but there wasn't much fur left on it. And I went, oh, that's great for a jacket for the boys. So long story short, I made this thing, which we wore on top of the top. And that was the outfit that I got the offer from Topshop on, because it was, you know, anything goes then. And it looked good. And we've all said it is our favourite outfit because it was just so off the wall. And but I loved it. And I just, I loved making it. It was about a tenner's worth, literally. So,
brilliant. See, just shows what you can do. I need to be more creative in lockdown, that's for sure. Now we're going to look at If You Can't Stand the Heat from 1982. What memories does that bring back for you, Jay?
Oh, well, it was great. I loved the routine, although why do I love the routine? I did come up with most of the routine for this song. And I like the concept of the video. And it was voted one of our most favourite videos because it was a bit like behind the scenes kind of thing, so they were watching us rehearsing and then doing the gig at night, we were really kind of peaking at that point. It was all kind of going really well for us, and I would say it was definitely part of our heyday.
Now, Jay, I want to talk to you a little bit about your new material, and obviously you play under the name of the Fizz now.
Yeah. So when I mentioned about the conflict between Cheryl and Bobby, and actually Mike and Bobby, and I was the floating boat, Bobby ended up taking the name off of us. It's actually his wife owns the name. She was 8 when we won Eurovision, and we ended up sort of in a bit of a bitter battle in court with him. Right. Because he carried on, and he said he wouldn't stop us, but he did. He tried to. So officially, we're the Fizz, and we've lost the title, but Fizz.
Oh, we like the Fizz. I think the Fizz has got a real good ring about it. And that's me, I love Fizz anyway. So, but your new material, a lot of artists, I kind of hear their stuff and I think, oh, I prefer the old stuff. But I've got to say, I've listened to your new stuff and it is so catchy. It's brilliant.
Yeah, well, we're very lucky because we've got Mike Stock writing and producing our albums. And we've done 3 now. And that came out of a fan just sort of making a tweet, and Mike Stock saw it, and because of this fan's tweet we ended up literally working with him, because then Cheryl followed up with oh really, are you interested in maybe working with us, and he went, yeah, sure. So we had a meeting, and you know, sort of it's become a great relationship, and him and his son James are just great to work with, you know. Sorry, the phone is again. And it's all just gone so well. I mean, we couldn't have we're blessed having such a second, you know, rebirth at our time of life.
Yeah, I was going to say most bands, they kind of have a couple of hits and then they disappear. But you guys have been going, well, it's like 39 years now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, isn't it?
Absolutely brilliant. So Winning Ways, I love the makeup on the video for this. Just brilliant. And the outfits as well. very stylish. Did you come up with this?
It was a combination that the record company kind of knew what they wanted. They wanted the mime element to be able to tell the story. And a friend of mine, Bear Tobin, she's used to be Miss Finland, actually. She's friends with a guy who puts in a band with my husband. And also my daughter did the makeup. So we kind of had a little team. And I did the costumes as well with them, you know. So, yeah, it's a combined effort.
Yeah, I love it. Well, it's from your album Smoke and Mirrors. Here is Winning Ways.
Tell me again your sad, sad story, how the world went wrong. Tell me about your fall of glory, how the world moved on. You're living for yesterdays. Get up and join the race. You're better than that. Get back to winning ways. Tell me again how bad it's going. Hit the violins. Tell me about the tears are flowing, all those might have beens. Wake up and don't delay. Get up and face the day. Clean up your act, get back to winning ways. Tell me you're trying, I'll show you I care. I know a different side to you. Hoping that you finally see you can do it all so easily. Tell me again, you're feeling so low in a lonely place. Tell me you've got no plans tomorrow. You're a hopeless case. It's only a passing phase. There's gonna be brighter days. Pick up the slack, get back to winning. You're better than that. Get back to winning. Go on the attack. Get back to winning ways.
Jay, now I want to talk to you about your single Here to Eternity. I played it to my mum last night and we were both nearly crying. It's just beautiful.
It is a lovely song, isn't it? Mike Stock wrote it. In fact, it used to be a disco track, believe it or not. He wrote it with Matt Aitken from Stock Aitken and Waterman, and he's kind of had it sitting around. He wanted to do something different with it, and he wanted to try a ballad, and it all kind of coincided with the time I got my diagnosis for mouth cancer. And so I was actually finding myself literally on the day when I got the date in for my operation, and I was trying to sing it knowing that, you know, like in a week's time I was going in surgery. So it was quite an emotional vocal, and I actually ended up going back about 7 or 8 months later to finish it because at parts it was just too emotional. So obviously I was thinking about my daughter at the time, and I'm very proud of it.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. But thank you so much, Jay Aston. It's been such a pleasure and honour to have you on the show. Now, I heard this song and I thought straight away, I love it. I have to hear it again. It's so good. It's called Amen by the Fizz, and it is just brilliant. Really, really catchy. Love the makeup, love the costumes. Check this out.
Saving secrets for the grave. had enough my own to say, treading on your line, never crossing mine. I am practically a stranger that has put myself in danger. What a foolish move that I can't undo. Why are you looking after me, she said. If I could tell you what's inside my head, well, then you would realize till death will I die, always and forever, amen. Amen. The eagle can't fly with the dove. All isn't fair in war and love. But maybe we could just pretend. One little white light till death will I die, always and forever, amen, amen. I will take all of the blame if it helps to clear your name, if it helps to clear your mind. Then I swear that I will sign on the line. Why are you looking after me, she said.
Oh, we've now come to the end of the Memory Lane 80s show on Spotlight TV. I'm Hayley Palmer and thank you so much. You know that I love having your company here on a Saturday night. We're in the right place, aren't we? Huge thank you to the lovely Jay Aston. Wasn't she still beautiful as ever and just a brilliant guest on the show? And hearing all those Bucks Fizz songs, wow, just incredible. Now, I will definitely see you next week. Remember, you can get in contact with me. Details are on the screen below. I'm Hayley Palmer. Thank you so much for joining me and I will definitely see you next week.